This is an incoming transmission from the Jersey Shore.
This is Financial Insanity with Scott McLean, powered by McLean Advisory Group. Today you'll hear some of the most important financial information and wealth-building techniques available anywhere.
Let's get this party started, huh?
Do you have a question for Scott and the team?
Am I on the air?
609-488-4646. That's 609-488-4646.
We'll get that information to them by radio.
Now, Financial Insanity with Scott McLean.
Hey, welcome to Financial Insanity with Scott McLean, McLean Advisory Group. I'm Alex Dingman, and today Scott and I have a special topic. Kind of sounds like it's straight out of a video game. Now, this idea came from one of our faithful listeners. Thank you so much, and always send those thoughts in if you have them, 609-488-4646. But this person wanted more clarity on Brics. Now, let's jump into the world of Brics. Now, not the kind that we're building houses with, but something that could change the way some big countries play the money game. So first, Scott, what the heck are we talking about when we're saying Brics?
I'm glad you brought that up because, Alex, imagine Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa sitting around a giant monopoly board deciding that they want to start using their own monopoly money instead of the game of standard currency. You see, that's Brics for you. A group of countries teaming up and using their own currency instead of relying on the U.S. dollar, which is now very strong and very well. But, of course, the world's go-to currency, which is the USA, since World War II. That's a lot, Alex.
Well, that is really interesting, and I'm just kind of trying to think about this, those countries that are involved, interesting, but it sounds like it's kind of like they're coming up with some sort of secret club, some sort of members-only deal, secret handshake and all that, but why are they doing this, Scott?
Yeah, special...
Yeah, exactly.
Knock on the door.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you think, Alex, it's like when you and your friends decide you'd rather trade stickers instead of Legos. These countries think that creating their own currency will make up trading, of course, among themselves easier. That's been going on for a while. This is nothing new, and I've gotten some calls from clients. And, of course, I thought, Alex, let's face it, it's always fun to shake things up and to try something new, especially, if you could have more control of the game. And that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and
who's going to get control?
And I can see how that can make a little bit of sense. So it's kind of like a gamer deciding if they're going to go on console or PC, and people are going to have strong feelings about either one. But how does this really affect the people that are listening and they're saving up for something big like buying a house? How does this information affect them?
Real Brics, buying a house. That's the spirit, Alex. I think about, even though the countries are planning their own currency party, it doesn't mean our dollars will turn into pumpkin carriage at midnight. I think that's what one of the listeners called up, and he says, Scott, how will that affect us? What's going on? You see, the U.S. dollar will still be the currency you'll be using to buy your pizza pies and your Easy Bake Oven for your grandkids. The Brics currency is like adding another controller in the game. It really doesn't replace the existing ones right now. Could it change? It's possible, but not right now.
And if you have questions about this or any topics that we discussed, that number for Scott McLean and his wonderful team, McLean Advisory Group, here in Waretown, but serving New Jersey, 609-488-4646, 609-488-4646. So no reason for people to panic here. It sounds like Brics more about choices on the global stage than anything else, but what should people be focusing on with the talk of this new currencies? What is relevant?
I think, first of all, is relaxing and understanding really what's going on. While the world really does its thing and trying to figure out how can they usurp the U.S. dollar, we need to keep our eyes on your own financial health. Those of you out there, how are you faring out? How is your investments doing? You're checking your savings. Are you managing your budget? Is your interest, are you getting the best interest rate you can in your bank accounts, which we had a call with one of our clients this morning before this call. And really, as you build towards your own personal goal, your retirement goal, whether it's selling your house, getting a new house, going on vacation, or just maybe another big investment, focus, for you listening, listen, focus on what you control, not what you can't control. And you'll be set in a matter of currencies is in your wallet right now. Now, that doesn't mean your advisor shouldn't keep you up to date. Obviously, we should keep our clients up to date. Right now, it's no big deal, but it is in talking matters, and that's what we can control. What's going on? And that's why at our firm, we look at the 3D process. How can we really help our clients be as most, I should say, safe or as well-informed as possible so you can enjoy your retirement?
Well, and Scott, one of your great values, too, is you're able to take this information and really put it in perspective for folks. And so this faithful listener, they wanted this information out about Bric, so they called in asking for more, and we're going to do this today. But that's really, one of your main values, Scott. To speak to that a little bit about, you're somebody who can take this information, whether it's the, national economy or we're talking here about the global economy and, on a world scale, but you're able to put this into perspective for folks and let them focus on what really matters as opposed to just hearing these things and maybe, going exactly to, the doom and gloom thought process that so many of us can do and we just don't have the answers.
And you're right. I think if you're older like myself, you remember 2000 to 2002, the market dropped almost 55%. Then 2007 to 2009, that was a cataclysmic tummy ache. A lot of people bought a lot of booze and a lot of Pepto-Bismol because they didn't understand what's going on in the market. So I get the understanding is our dollar going away. I get it understanding what's going to happen to our currency. I get it saying you're worried about your family. And then, of course, what about your kids and grandkids? I can't speak for that in the future. I just have to keep my eye on what's happening now and what the political position is. And we'll know more later on as we see the political showdown coming up pretty soon with the new presidency around. But I think about the Brics and I guess the biggest thing, Alex, people's out there, are you doing your financial planning? Are you doing your budget sheets? Are you addressing what's most important to you and your family? And again, I understand you're worried about the other countries that want to pull away from the U.S. And I think to happen overnight, I just don't see any way, shape, or possibility it could happen overnight. Now, that doesn't mean it can't.
Sure.
But I'm just saying that is just a huge transition of how we're buying our goods and services. So, again, if you've been doing your financial planning and maybe you've called our office at 609-488-4646, maybe you've asked me some questions off the air, or those of you who have gone in and texted me some information, and we want to make it well to you. And I appreciate a few of you clients calling about the Brics, about the dollar currency. But I don't want you to hesitate not to call our office and say, Scott, I need some information. 609-488-4646, because it's easy to put things off. It's easy to say, I'll get to it. It's easy to say, well, I'll think about it later, and it's off your mind. All of a sudden it shows up on the TV show, and now you're scratching your head and you're worried. Guys, if you're out there, women, are you out there? You're concerned. I'm here. I've been doing this thing over 40 plus years. I've been doing this and watching what's happened. Many of us have seen the economy shift. We've seen presidencies shift. We've seen the political world as well as this crap going on in the colleges right now. It's amazing. But are you set in your finances? Can you say you're bulletproof? Are you, if the market were to drop 30%, how would your portfolio hang out? How would it do? What's the beta factor of your portfolio, the risk factor? If the beta factor is high, you could be losing more money than you thought. And that is what we talk about to our clients. So again, commit to your own financial well-being. Commit to being proactive and approaching your investments. This is why people call us so often during the week, during these shows, Alex, is when they call our office at 609-488-4646. I'm here. Now, if I don't call you back right away, I will. My staff will make it available to you. But I can tell you, we're in some different waters right now, and you probably need someone who's on top of their game. That's what I can see challenging right now. People are not on top of their game. They're just pushing products and sales, but are they educating the clients out there?
You're somebody that's never going to, judge somebody harshly or look at somebody like they're dumb for some question. I mean, not everybody can be expected to know all these things, and like you and your team does. And so give that number out again and just encouraging folks, if they do have questions, concerns, that they can come see you and your team.
I'd love to hear from you. If you're out there, if you got questions, we'll get the answers if we don't have them. How's that? And I can tell you, if you give our studios a call, 609-488-4646. Any questions good and regarding the finances and your situation? And perhaps if you'd like to say, Scott, I need to know how we sit in our situation, my wife and I, or maybe you're single or you have a partner. How do we sit? How can we reduce taxes? How can we make our money last a good long time? How do we protect our money from the crows and the clowns and if something happens to us? And then again, how can I hide my assets or reposition my assets in case the nursing home wants to get them? How do you do it? It's real simple. 609-488-4646. This is all I do, and I love it.
Don't go it alone. Call Scott and his team, McLean Advisory Group, 609-488-4646, 609-488-4646. Plenty more to come here on Financial Insanity, out-of-the-box thinking for your financial sanity.
Stop for a moment and think about this. Do you know how much money in your 401k or IRA is actually yours? Or will the government take a bigger chunk than you thought? Remember, you still might owe taxes on that money, but do you have a plan to help make sure you don't pay more than you should? At McLean Advisory Group, we believe you deserve to keep more of what you've earned, which is why we're here to help you navigate the confusing world of retirement taxes. It's your money. You deserve to know what's at stake. Right now, taxes are historically low, but they won't be this low forever. So call the McLean Advisory Group team today so you don't miss out on this opportunity. 609-488-4646. That's 609-488-4646. You work hard for your money, and we'll work just as hard to help you keep it. McLean Advisory Group, 609-488-4646. Investment advisory services offered through Sound Income Strategies, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm. McLean Tax Advisory Group and Sound Income Strategies are not associated entities.
Get all this stuff and you try to put it away like these hoarders on TV. It has an emotional attachment.
So, Scott, you're saying I don't have to keep every single drawing that my son has done? You're saying I can throw some of that away?
The answer is yes. You can take a picture, then throw it out.
This is Financial Insanity with Scott McLean, presented by McLean Advisory Group.
Well, now that we know who the next president is going to be, many people wondering, how will the new administration affect my investments, my taxes, my estate plans? How can I make the most of these changes? I'm Alex Dingman, here as always next to Scott McLean, McLean Advisory Group. And Scott, it's exciting times. Obviously not everybody is going to be super thrilled with the result. I mean, that's how it's always going to be. But it's exciting because at least we know. We know now what the situation is, how to move forward. A lot of people are excited about it. And Scott, today we're going to be talking about how to take advantage of the new administration. Right, Scott?
I think it's important to take advantage of whether Kamala got in or Trump got in. We were having a show ready for this because I know people have it on their minds. And I know the last 3 months meeting with people, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know where to go tax-wise, investment-wise, estate planning-wise. And now we're getting a clearer picture as the day goes on. So I am excited about that. So whether you, like you said, Alex, I appreciate those of you who don't like Donald Trump, that's fine. You're not going to go out to dinner with him or maybe have a beer with him. But I can tell you one thing. We know how to work with this, and that's what's important. So I'm not pushing either side, but I want to make sure that you're making the best financial decisions, the 3D approach, Alex.
Yep. And Scott, what we don't want is we don't want people changing their financial plan every 4 years, given the new administration. That is not the point we're making. But there are some things that come to light that given what side is in, or what president is in, it does change, how some things may look moving forward. And so for us in the finance world, it's all about looking at this and then trying to determine, all right, where are the different opportunities? So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about some different areas that, may be positively affected with new corporate and personal tax structures likely on the way. So let's discuss this a little bit as far as some different changes. And one area, Scott, I know that is important is taxes. And this is something where it's just important to be able to look ahead and see the type of tax changes that may come to light that we would need to make some adjustments with our plan for.
We do. And I think what's exciting about the taxes, and now we can plan for it since we do taxes for our clients, is, again, paying attention to, the sunset rule that's coming off 2025. Probably going to make that permanent. Whether he makes Social Security taxable or non-taxable, because Social Security is taxable 50%, then the next president came in, which was Clinton, and made it 85%. And if Trump makes it zero, I can tell you there's going to be a lot of those of you out there that are, whether you like Trump or not, you're going to like that new tax rules that all of your Social Security is not taxed. This could be a tremendous benefit. So when you do your tax planning with your financial advisor and your tax guy, they need to talk to each other, Alex. And this is really important in your planning and how to pull money out of your investments.
Absolutely. And Scott, before we get into the different sectors, I'm going to tell a joke. Okay. Scott?
All right.
And I want you to react here. All right. So, Scott, a lawyer, a financial planner, and a tax preparer walk into a bar. And this does sound like the start of a joke, right? Well, it would be, except they all left without agreeing who should pay the tab. See the problem here, Scott? Those three professionals, they rarely talk to each other, and when they don't talk, your money is the one picking up the bill. Now, I gotta be honest. I stole that one from you, Scott. But if you could, bud, why is this a joke? I know that you share, or thought that you share. What is your meaning here?
We talk about it in my book when I wrote it a few years ago, Financial Planning. I call it the Three Blind Mice: How the Financial Planning Process Leads Your Money to a Mousetrap. And so, of course, those of you who don't understand the tax situation, the estate planning situation, and the investment situation, when they don't talk to each other, it leads you to a mousetrap that you end up having to pay the bill, as you just said, Alex, and the tab is out there. So the question is, how do we reduce that? And so thanks for joining our show today. If you need to have any questions during this show, a very powerful show today that Alex and I were talking about, you want to definitely write this down. Very important, very, very important number to write down. And that number is 609-488-4646. Again, I'll give it to you. That's directly to my staff, my radio show here, and my staff will get a hold of me to make a time we can speak. 609-488-4646, so I can try to answer your questions the best as possible. No cost. No, you're not going to get a bill, but it's just time. And so it's my freebie. It's my, how can I introduce myself to you and really benefit you who listening? 609-488-4646, Alex.
Thank you for that, Scott. All right, let's dive into these sectors now. So with the new presidential administration, some sectors, some changes, some things we might want to take advantage of. We'll get through as many of these as possible. But first, Scott, let's talk about the energy sector. What should we be focusing on there?
The energy sector, as we know, as he kept saying, Donald Trump kept saying, drill, baby, drill. And of course, that's been the theme. I guess that's like singing a beautiful song. And so that's going to really help out. And hopefully how he taxes that sector, we have a huge deficit. We're not hearing a lot about the deficit. But if we're drilling, we're building reserves, not giving reserves away. We're charging for our energy. This could be a tremendous benefit for us as Americans and building our reserves up. And I can tell you, this could be a great benefit for those of you who are concerned about the deficit, for your grandkids and great grandkids, and forget it, even yourself. And then when you look at, of course, where do you invest? Okay, what sectors? Well, the energy, Alex, as you stated, is a great sector of stocks. And those of you who like income, dividends, and interest, this could be a tremendous area to look into, Alex.
All right. And another one, Scott, I know defense and aerospace, another sector as we could possibly expect more military spending.
We can expect that. And I think that's where the Trump is going to be printing a lot of money. So he's got to make it somewhere up. Could be the energy sector to make it up. But our military isn't what it should be, nor what it has been in other presidencies. So we need to work on that. But on top of that, it's not just like President Obama said, well, we've got these satellites, we got the drones. Okay, well, wait a minute. We also need men and women. We need them to help us. We need people. And so technology is going to be a huge thing. And I know you said the infrastructure, but technology is going to be a huge impact, again, using the AI, as well as our infrastructure and bidding our ships out there, because China's way overdoing us. So this area is really, really important as we look at that infrastructure. And I can tell you this is really important, and we'd have to build up our military.
All right, Scott, as we're going through some sectors that could potentially get a boost here under the Trump administration. So another area, and this one obviously one that you're very attuned to, financial services. Now, how might the tax structure impact this sector, Scott?
It could really change a lot. Now, we just know that in the IRAs, the 401ks, 403b, they just now changed the rules of how much you can put away. Alex, I'm not sure if you know this, but if those of you who are making big money, you can actually put a lot more money away. And in other words, invest it into an IRA, 401k, 403b, but not the normal $7,000. But now they actually changed that. So the financial sectors are going to be affecting that. You can put up to $30,000 away for those of you making big money and reduce your taxes. But again, the policies related to interest rates, the deregulations, the Tax Reform Act, which is changing your RMDs in 2033 to age 75. So, Alex, this is a great benefit for you, a tremendous benefit for younger people. I missed it by 2 years, unfortunately. Mine is 73. But for those of you that are younger, you can think of now, how can I defer money, put money out there, still have access to it, still get tax write-offs? This is a great area. So deregulations, Tax Reform Act really will affect that, as well as, of course, when you look at the industry, when you're reducing taxes, and when you look on the financials, as well as income tax into the industrial world, as we talk about the industrial world, changing it from the 21% to 15%, that is going to be huge. And so you definitely want to take advantage of the industrials as well, infrastructure. But again, in the financial sectors, which is the banks, insurance companies, the asset management firms, and of course, the payment processing firms. These could be, again, another sector. Deregulation could be a great benefit.
And to that point, Scott, another area, and you've kind of mentioned it, infrastructure, construction, but this is another one, as you have the Trump administration expected to focus on revitalizing American infrastructure.
You're right, Alex. You look at small companies that we grew up with, Alex. Now, me, that being the old timer on this phone, on this radio show, you look at Caterpillar, Lockheed Martin. These are industrial infrastructure. These companies they're going to be helping out the defensive companies, the manufacturing, transportations. This is a great, great area. The government spending, could they be blowing money in the wrong area? Now they have a whole new division that's going to oversee the spending, which I'm really excited about. Because again, many of you remember years ago where they're spending a toilet seat could be $500 after they do a study, or these stupid studies that were giving money overseas to watching a shrimp run a treadmill, and how long can it run? It was just stupid spending. But the industrial infrastructure, this is so important, again, not only to a military, but then building. We need more infrastructure. We need more homes. This could be another booming sector in your portfolios. And again, you don't want to be overweighted in just one portfolio, but I'm giving you a few of those areas, Alex, that you're asking me about.
I took that personally when you commented about the shrimp on a treadmill. I don't know why.
Well, I can't help. You're only 3'2".
Yeah, right.
That's your problem.
All right. What about the fifth sector here, Scott? Technology. Looking at some anticipated tax incentives and policies that could, favor some growth innovation in this area.
This is really driving and the innovation and the economy, which will go into every single sector of the industry, whether it's wartime tools, drones. Okay. Now, how about your home? How about your TV? How about these things are tremendous? We're going from TV news to now podcasts. Again, the technology is really the driving innovation. These smart kids that are in their basement making and inventing things, almost like many of you older people, when you remember when you got your first colored TV. Well, now we have the TV on our phone. So again, we encompass the software, hardware, and then the services. And now we see this NVIDIA, the Alphabet, Google, Microsoft, Apple. These companies are going to really get blessings on that. And again, it's going to go back to deregulations, because I know they're trying to hit Google right now based on their search engine. They're trying to get Google to sell their search engine. This came up recently. So again, it's really, really less sensitive to interest rates rising or falling. But again, the more interest rates are falling, if you have bonds out there, you might want to pay attention to your bonds. Could companies get rid of your bond or your preferred stock, and of course revitalize their investments, these big companies, and again issue new preferreds and new bonds, getting rid of you have a callable bond or a preferred. Really important to pay attention to the income tools if you're depending on income. But again, technology, Alex, you hit it on the head. This drives innovation and economic growth like unbelievable.
We are talking a new era of financial confidence on Financial Insanity today. If you have a question for Scott, that number 609-488-4646. That is 609-488-4646. Plenty more to come. Thank you so much for joining us today for Financial Insanity, out-of-the-box thinking for your financial sanity.
Who likes uncertainty? Wall Street certainly does not. With near record inflation and partisan politics, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. What will America's future look like? What will your future look like? Will your taxes go up? Will your savings go down? For more than 40 years here in the Jersey Shore area, Scott McLean and the team at McLean Advisory Group have seen uncertainty come and go. No matter what the future holds, Scott can help you create a plan designed to preserve your finances in uncertain times. And it's not a matter of if those uncertain times will show up, but when. Call 609-488-4646 now to meet with Scott McLean and the team at McLean Advisory Group. If uncertainty is causing you to feel insecure, Scott McLean might be able to help. Call 609-488-4646 and schedule your visit today. Again, that's 609-488-4646.
Investment advisory services are offered through Sound Income Strategies, LLC. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Can we really live the go-go years, or am I going to scrimp and save and stay at home and watch TV, watch Bob Barker? I don't know.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
We made it back. This is Financial Insanity with Scott McLean, presented by McLean Advisory Group.
Last segment, we talked about opportunities to take advantage of given the new presidential administration. We mentioned it could be a good time to invest in the following sectors: energy, defense and aerospace, financial services, infrastructure and construction, and technology. So it definitely sounds like there are some incredible opportunities across these sectors, especially with the new tax structures coming into play. But Scott, if you could tell us more about McLean Advisory Group's approach to ensuring clients' financial security even in changing times.
Those of you listening, we really want to understand it, and I think you do too, especially your spouse as well, especially if you have spouses that are not really involved in money, but they need to understand what's going on, or beneficiaries of your assets. The dreams, it's about aligning the investments with each of your personal goals. And then the dollars, where we consistently focus on the climate, the markets, the Congress, the president, and protecting those through growing your wealth through, again, taxes, strategic tax and investment planning. And then lastly, the dynasty. How does the money pass on? So that no matter what the economic landscape is, we're making sure as best as possible that we can give you heads up and caution the investor so they can seek growth and seek protection, as well as not have a complex or a very tremendously taxable estate. And that's what's really important about the 3D approach: the dreams, the dollars, and the dynasty, Alex. This is really critical.
It really is. And Scott, another thing that is critical for a comprehensive approach, which you take, is looking at the tax code. And I know that there are definitely some things here with the new administration to look at to make sure that you have a good strategy, and making sense of things when it happens to be as far as taxes and what makes the most sense.
When you look at taxes, Alex, and I'm glad you brought that up. We talked about it earlier in this workshop show. Is number one, Social Security, because Social Security can be taxed up to 85%. That doesn't mean used to be tax-free, and then under Reagan, he made it 50%. Under Clinton, he changed it to 85%. But if Trump changes it to 0%, everything changes on how you pull money out. So we are paying attention to that. Again, taxes. How much should you take? Where should you take it? Almost like a Roth IRA. Should I do Roth conversions or not Roth conversions? So again, paying attention to the tax code. Again, the sunset law coming off the table in 2025. If Trump makes it permanent, this could really benefit you. Again, taxable estate, when it passes on to the heirs, will they get whacked or not? Do you have to do the 10-year stretch upon passing money on to your children or not? And again, they may be unaware of taxes, but I can tell you the firm that you're working with needs to guide them, educate them, and work with them so they make sure that your dollars, along with your dreams, are not pilfered, stolen, evaporate, because of the dynasty was set up wrong, and updating your will, power of attorney, living will, or maybe you need some trust planning.
Well, and Scott, for folks that are out there and maybe they have questions or they're concerned about how they're going to meet their goals or how they're going to protect their family's future, what would you tell these folks to do?
I think the most important thing is you get off the couch, get off the golf course, or don't do that. When you're at the golf course, maybe give our studios a call and schedule a time to visit with us. No cost, no obligation, or give our studios a call at 609-488-4646. And the reason why is because maybe you've gotten something from our shows in the past, 12, 13, 14 years we've been doing the radio. And maybe it's about time you stop the procrastination nonsense, and maybe you get a second or third opinion, maybe from someone who looks at it holistically in the sense of, let me look at your tax returns. Let me see your trust, your will, your power of attorney. Let me understand who the people are in your life that in case you can't make a shot or call, so we know who to speak to and we know how to guide you. This is essential. 609-488-4646. Don't procrastinate. Give our studios a call. Happy to talk to you off the air. No cost, no obligation. This is our give back to our community since 1983. I've been licensed and got in the business in 1982. So I think it's really important, Alex, especially now in the new administration we have this next few years. I can tell you this could be a really windfall for those of you listening that do take action. 609-488-4646. Real simple to call us.
As we're talking today about a new era of financial confidence on the show today, and I want to remind folks as well, they can always go to the website. Scott gave out that number, 609-488-4646. Just add a .com for the website. And Scott, I think, a lot of what we're talking about today is taking advantage of this current administration. And that is really important. And Scott, you're the man that, we already pointed out the sectors. We're going to talk about the different areas and the tax code and how we can take advantage and all that. But the other great benefit that you have, Scott, is being in this industry for 40 plus years, and you've seen, I know, trust me, it's going to sound good when I'm all said and done here. But Scott, you've seen a bunch of administrations come and go, and you've seen a lot of different things happen in the world and how it affects finances. And so, Scott, not only can you have a conversation about, all right, how can, I best set you up here given the current administration, but also to say, but we don't want, a different plan every 4 years. We're also going to develop a plan that's going to be able to withstand, ups and downs of the market or interest rates or administrations, whatever may be happening. And so I think that's just important to note to make, Scott, is that you're going to help people take advantage of the now, but then also make sure that people are set up for their own futures and for their family's future as well.
If they've been investing with our firm for years, the question is, when you look, there's almost a track record, a pattern when new presidents come in, old presidents leave. this is the norm. The question is, what is the norm now? It's kind of different. This President Trump now is really shaking up the industry. So we are paying attention to it, but that doesn't mean we set it and forget it. No matter if you've had to do all the presidencies I've been involved in since 1982, licensed in 83, things pretty much we see the norm, but there are people out there saying, okay, what's next? Especially if you're in retirement and you've watched this over the years, you understand. But maybe you're brand new to retirement. You're about to retire and you're nervous, like many people have, saying, Scotty, don't do any investments. Please don't do any investments. Wait to see the presidency. I'm not going to tell you or anybody, no, we're going to go ahead and invest. This is your money. It's not mine. I have to honor your words. I have to honor you. I'm not going to try to twist your arm and beg you to get in the market because I'm looking at the dollars. That's so ridiculous. And if any investment firm tells you to do that, they're just not paying attention to the sensitivity of what you're going through. This is your last hurrah. You're donating your money. You're giving your money to someone you hope you trust. You see, when the markets dive down, you fire that advisor. When markets scream back up, you love that new advisor. And then all of a sudden it turns back down like it did from 2000 to 2002. Then a market zoomed back up 2002 to 2007 7 years of no growth. Then from 2007 to 2009, the market drops down. Now you fire that advisor. You get a brand new advisor. You need holistic planning. You need to understand what is going on and what do we do? Can you ride this Mr. Wild Toad's ride or can you not? This is where we find out the beta factor in your portfolio. This is why people give our studios a call. Say, Scott, what is my risk factor? I've never was told my risk factor. That's the beta factor, 609-488-4646. Let me take a look at the portfolio, and we can give you a pretty good estimation of what you're doing, what's going on, and maybe you need to tweak it. Or maybe you call your financial advisor, then you call us and say, what do you see? Without even telling us you called your financial advisor, and find out what he or she said. So you are going to pay attention, not procrastinate, to make sure you're getting the biggest bang for your dollar and make sure people are paying attention to the risk and rewards of the market, Alex.
Yeah, and I love that 3D approach because it is customized to everybody. You know, when you're going through that, it isn't a one-size-fits-all. That's the great thing about everybody that's out there, is that everybody is wonderful and unique in their own way, and they all have whatever makes the most sense for them when it comes to their financial plan. Everybody has a different risk tolerance. Everybody has, different amounts of money to invest. Everybody has different ideas about what, leaving a lasting legacy means. And so that's the other thing, Scott, is that you're coming in and you're looking at an individual or you're looking at a couple strictly as, this is unlike any other, one of one, and, creating a customized plan that makes sense for that particular person.
It does. And I think what I get many times is when people come in there and they'll say, well, Scott, I don't want to bother you or waste your time, but we don't have too much money. And they might have $1 million, but they think they don't have enough money. Then we have other people coming in saying the same thing, and they may have $50,000 saved. We are not, Alex, we don't look at them as the size of their portfolio, but how their portfolio is established based on what they have, based on what they need, and based on the tools that are in the tool house. So it's not how much do you have, it's what can we do and can we make it benefit? I may just simply say, you're doing a great job. Your advisor seems to be looking at the legal aspects, the tax benefit aspects, and the investments. It seems like they're all in alignment. Stay with the guy or gal. You might want to stay with them. It seems like they're doing a wonderful job. But 9 times out of 10, what I find is they're not looking at all those areas. But if they are, I am congratulating you for finding the right person who's paying attention. But just because you've been with them 2, 20, 30, 40 years, the same guy or gal, doesn't mean that they're driving the Mercedes and now they're driving a Ferrari. Each driving tool requires different skills. In retirement, those skills change from growth to income 9 times out of 10. But those of you who want to keep growing your money, great. Let's take a look at it. So it's your goal, not our goal, your dreams, your desire, your dynasty, and the dollars. Well, let's make sure they're working the way you want them to work. And this is why we look at people almost not a cookie cutter, because cookie cutter solutions, they just don't work. It's like, Alex, it's like Colonel Sanders babysitting your pet chicken. It just doesn't work.
I love that. And, you're willing to work with, if you voted for Trump, Harris, Pootie Pie, whatever it may have been, you are here at McLean Advisory Group ready to assist as we are talking today about the new era of financial confidence. But again, Scott, happy to assist anyone, despite whatever the political beliefs.
I don't
may
even
be.
look at that.
Right.
If you don't like Trump, if you don't like Harris, if you don't like the Democrats, you don't like Republicans, you don't like the independent. Okay, great. Let's put that aside. You do like money. It's almost like in church, Scott, I think the money's the root of all evil. Time out, cuz money right up there is like breathing. You need it. You need it for some reason. So stop that religious connotation or the feeling of, whoever you like, that's who you should invest with, not invest with. No, it's what the market's offering. That's what you have to deal with. And that's it.
609-488-4646, the number for Scott and his team at McLean Advisory Group, 609-488-4646. We really appreciate you joining us today. And before we take a break, Scott, I just want to ask you very frankly here, what are you thankful for this year?
Thanksgiving is a wonderful time, and I'm so thankful, number one, that I love what I do. I don't know what else I would be doing in my life. I don't see myself retiring. I thank God that I am very healthy, at least with a couple knee surgeries and pains and aches. I am so thankful my brain is so sharp, and I love studying what's happening. So I'm so thankful that I have that ability. And then I'm so thankful for our clients who trust us. Trust, as my daddy always told me, is earned. Just because you do one thing good doesn't mean everything is good. So trust is earned. And I can tell you, we've had clients now over 30 plus years. And I say, their trust is still earned day by day. So thank those of you. I'm thankful for those of you that are clients of ours, or maybe you're thinking about what we do at our firm. I'm thankful that you even come in. The second thing I'm thankful that I have, and our firm has the ability. I've got some sharp people. I'm so thankful. So Alex, I guess there's two things, not one. And I am thankful for you, Alex, helping me with the show and making it as good as it is with so many listeners asking so many great questions. So thank you, Alex.
Absolutely. I'm very thankful to be a part of this machine and thankful for all of our tremendous listeners out there. So thank you, as always, for joining us. And we have plenty more financial insanity coming up.
Stop for a moment and think about this. Do you know how much money in your 401k or IRA is actually yours? Or will the government take a bigger chunk than you thought? Remember, you still might owe taxes on that money, but do you have a plan to help make sure you don't pay more than you should? At McLean Advisory Group, we believe you deserve to keep more of what you've earned, which is why we're here to help you navigate the confusing world of retirement taxes. It's your money. You deserve to know what's at stake. Right now, taxes are historically low, but they won't be this low forever. So call the McLean Advisory Group team today so you don't miss out on this opportunity. 609-488-4646. That's 609-488-4646. You work hard for your money, and we'll work just as hard to help you keep it. McLean Advisory Group, 609-488-4646. Investment advisory services offered through Sound Income Strategies, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm. McLean Tax Advisory Group and Sound Income Strategies are not associated entities.
How much cash are we going to burn, and will you be out of money? And will the cat food train start to come alive? And that's where the rubber meets the road.
Great cat impersonation, by the way, Scott. That was spot on.
This is Financial Insanity with Scott McLean, powered by McLean Advisory Group.
It seems like nowadays everybody just goes to that cell phone, puts in the address, and then just stares at it, and it tells you exactly where to go. But I remember not that long ago traveling with my dad across the country, and he literally would pull out the map. Big old map. He'd roll through that thing. We'd be circling highways and making marks with pen, and we would get there, and it would be a lot of fun. Alex Dingman here, along with Scott McLean, McLean Advisory Group, Financial Insanity. And maybe that sounds insane to some people nowadays, Scott, to be actually using a physical map instead of just that cell phone. But we're going to talk about that retirement roadmap today. And Scott, special guest with us. Exciting here. We have an advisor who works along with you and has been in the financial industry since 2009. George Costanis is with us as well. George, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about this roadmap.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate being here.
Absolutely. And Scott, what kind of a traveler are you? Are you just using that cell phone now and just, really brainless about the whole activity at this point?
I am brainless. My wife and daughter always make fun of me because, Dad, why don't you remember where you're going? You're going to get Alzheimer's. You got to stop doing that, Dad. Quit using the Waze app. I said, well, it's very easy for me. And you couldn't have brought it up better, Alex, talking about using a map. I remember using a map myself when I went to Florida to college in Nyack, and the map's flipping upside down. It's blowing in the breeze. It's all over the map, and you make a wrong turn, you have to recalibrate everything you're doing again, and then you lose time, lose effort, lose energy. Then you're starting to maybe say some four-letter words you never said before, and you get upset. So, but again, by the time, like you said, a good fun retirement or a good fun road trip comes with bumps in the roads, maybe flat tire or getting lost, and there's nothing worse than getting lost. So, Alex, thanks for sharing us the Waze app. Many people are out there using the Waze app. Today, I wanted to talk about, Alex, you asked about a very important thing, which is why I brought George in as an advisor at our firm for such a long time. I call it the McWaze, the retirement McWaze. The Waze app, we'll call it McLean Waze, the McWaze, because retirement comes with a lot of challenges. I got a phone call this morning, and he said, Scotty, a guy named Ken goes to our church. He says, Scott, I just can't fill out this form to get my taxes reduced. And I said, Ken, why didn't you call us? That's, you're a tax client of ours. He said, well, I just did it myself. And how many people do things themselves, Alex? They try to do things themselves, and they end up dorking it up.
Yeah.
Freaking out.
Sometimes it's hard to ask for help.
Later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I call it the McWaze. When it comes to retirement, how can we not flip the map upside down, get detoured, tire flat? Because with retirement, it comes with a lot of decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to hear George as well. First, that phone number, if something resonates with you, if you need help with your roadmap, 609-488-4646, 609-488-4646. And George, I know this is a great resource for folks, retirement roadmap. And talk to me a little bit about the idea here, because I know it's the kind of thing that's personal for each person that you would see that, needs help finding that direction.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And, when you're going on vacation and you have a roadmap, I mean, it sure is fun sometimes getting lost or sidetracked, as some of the things Scott pointed out. But when it comes to retiring and having that retirement roadmap, it is no fun getting lost or falling into a ditch. So that's kind of the idea behind the retirement roadmap. You don't want to get lost. You don't want to fall in a ditch. You're only going to do this once.
Absolutely. And that's where you guys can step in. Scott McLean, George Costanis with McLean Advisory Group, really helping guide people through retirement, because you said it right there. You can, have some detours when you're just having a nice leisure drive, but when it comes to retirement, you want to have that planning ahead of time. You know exactly where you're going. And that's where you guys can really step in to say, all right, here's the turns that need to be made. Here's the detour. Here's where there might be a construction zone, that kind of thing, so that you do not have those surprises.
Absolutely. And reducing stress, burning yourself out, having concerns, not knowing what you don't know, that's super important. So having a roadmap in front of you that outlines some of the biggest or greatest pitfalls or road bumps, then absolutely helpful.
I think it's also helpful, Alex, when your spouse, maybe it's the husband that does the planning or the wife does the planning. The challenge if you're listening to me right now and perhaps you're doing all the planning, but what if you get detoured, sick, disabled, Alzheimer's, dementia, your wheels fall off, you go see Jesus? One of those areas are going to possibly happen, and you're leaving your spouse to the unknown, and she doesn't know how to read the map. Perhaps she needs someone, or he needs someone, to help navigate this retirement, because retirement should be the golden years, but I hear a lot of times it's the rusty years. And if you don't have a retirement game plan or a map, it could get you totally totally off your game. So important to have that roadmap, as George said, because it's psychological. Do I retire? When do I retire? And they're always asking me, since I'm an old bat, I love what I do. The problem is, what are you going to do psychologically first so you don't burn out and be stressed out, and then all of a sudden left hooks come, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's always good to make a checklist before you travel. What are some things that we need to be thinking about when it comes to this retirement roadmap? And we want to plan this out. We want to make sure that we can get there and have enough finances to make it through what we hope is to be a very long retirement. But what are some things we have to think about before
I'm going to have George go through that, Alex, real quick, because this is critical. And if you're out there listening, I'd like to get this in your hands. Even though we're trying to make this journey fun, if you get sidetracked, at least you can lean on those people like ourselves who can guide you through it. So this map George is going to give you, we're going to go over to another segment, Alex. We're going to drill down deeper. But I guess I want to have George, when we look at people, when you talk to people on a weekly basis, you probably see 5-10 people a week minimum on top of service clients. What are the biggest things people are failing, they shouldn't fail on, they need to get in their hands to plan the retirement?
There's something definitely out there called impact bias, which sometimes when something first happens to you, it seems bigger than it really is. So I personally think it's super critical to chunk this out and take smaller steps at it. And step one is definitely to take a good inventory of what you have first. And then also where you want to be. So step one, definitely take an inventory, everything you have. This could be pension statement, 401ks, social security statement, bank statements, a list of expenses. What do you want your retirement to look like? What's it going to cost? Take that inventory first. Absolutely critical. And then we can move on to the next steps.
When you take this inventory, Alex, when we meet with people, it's almost they bring one or two things with them, not everything. And I think they don't understand that you need a real good picture. You need the entire roadmap. Well, this is not the roadmap. This is putting the roadmap together. And by putting it together, just like George said, your pension statements, your 401k, your IRA, your social security statements, we cannot play wing it. This is not a wing it. This is no do-over. And hopefully if we have to try to, if you're in retirement right now and you need some guidance, or maybe you're saying, am I going to run out of money? Which is the number one discussion I hear so often. Am I going to run out of money? What's going to happen? Well, we need to, again, dive deeper. We've met so many people, Alex, who've come to our office and they didn't work with us. And that's fine, because we don't force people. We don't really try to beg or bug them. But we want to guide them. And so when they finally come back and they need someone to walk them through this psychological nightmare, am I going to run out of money? Is my spouse okay? Are my children okay? Can I leave something to them? These are the questions we're getting, Alex.
Yeah. And Scott, George, we just have a couple minutes left, but in those couple minutes, how can people get help with this retirement roadmap? What is that first step?
Well, first of all, is when do I want to retire? Do I want to retire? But the most important, who can I speak to ask about retirement? Who can I trust and feel? Which is why when people visit with us, Alex, just give our studios a call, 609-488-4646. Visit with us, 609-488-4646. Ask for Bonnie. They can meet with George. They can meet with myself. Both of us highly qualified. But what I'm trying to tell you is when you understand when you're going to retire or think about retiring, these dates will change. You get nervous. You're not sure. Alex, I'd like to offer anyone who would like, no cost, no begging, no bugging. If you want a game plan, we're here for you. Come in. Let's have a discussion to see if we can benefit those of you who are making this huge decision, whether you're in retirement or about to go in retirement. Don't do this alone. Let's have a discussion. Why would you deny yourself the ability to get with someone who's done this for years? Give me a call off the air, 609-488-4646. Let me see if I can help you, guide you through this many journeys in your retirement. Start getting a plan together. Get this map laid out, Alex.
And talk to me a little bit here quickly about the benefit of having this roadmap. What does that do for folks to come in and fill this information out and really be able to have a better grasp on the future?
What a great question. Personally, I think the biggest part is that most people retire once and they've never been through it. They don't know what the pitfalls are. They don't know what they don't know. Having this retirement roadmap is basically all the things that we have seen, all the issues that have come through, and it really puts together a lot of things that you possibly don't know that you don't even know that are headed at you in retirement. And it does a good job of covering some of those unknowns.
All right. Thank you, George. And again, that number, 609-488-4646. That number again, 609-488-4646. Just add a .com for the website. This is Financial Insanity. I'm Alex Dingman, alongside today Scott McLean and also George Costanis with McLean Advisory Group.
This radio program may contain information which has gone regulatory or other significant changes since its original recording. The information and views expressed on today's show is educational in nature and is not intended to be a recommendation for any specific investment, product, strategy, plan, tax, or legal advice. Information presented is believed to be factual and up to date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy. Investment advisory services offered through Sound Income Strategies, LLC, a SEC-registered investment advisory firm. McLean Advisory Group and Sound Income Strategies, LLC, are not associated entities.
This radio show is a paid placement.